You're looking at the Gray Wolves of Lourdes University out of Sylvania, Ohio. As they disappear to the left of your screen, they will take on the number 3 seed in the Duer bracket, the host Tigers of Georgetown College, here at historic and venerable Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College in Georgetown, Kentucky, for the NAIA National Championship Tournament here on YouTube. We're glad you're with us. Darren and LC.
LC Newton, hello, and welcome.
Welcome. And we want to welcome all our viewers around the area. We've had one game already. Indiana Wesleyan out of Marion, Indiana, knocked off Mid-American Nazarene out of Kansas by a final score of 78-70. Both teams scoring below their season averages, by the way. But Georgetown getting ready now to take on Lourdes, and a name that should be familiar to a lot of fans of college basketball, especially in Ohio and Kentucky. The head coach of the Gray Wolves, Dennis Hobson, that used to be an Ohio State Buckeye. And by the way, in one of his games in the NCAA tournament, his Buckeyes knocked off UK.
There you go.
They were the number 1 seed. UK was like a number 5 or something. I don't remember. But he has had some experience with Kentucky basketball, so he knows what he's in for. Now, a couple of things we want to talk about. They are averaging 81.4 points per ball game. So that means, folks, they like to get out and run. But do they want to run in this environment? Because we have a packed stadium, set of stands down to our right that are occupied by the Georgetown College football team. We
And I
have
have
the
to
pep
say-
band to the right, to the left.
This has to be the most crowded I've seen this gym in a long time. I mean, it is packed. We got the fans here, and they are ready to go.
But
what an atmosphere.
And here's the other thing. You've got the atmosphere. You're playing Georgetown on their home floor. And they're not going to be used to the environment they'll have in here with what we affectionately know as Davis Reed Alumni Gym, but us on the broadcasting network call it the sauna, because it is hot in here. And the guy who broke it up is down here, Abby Osborne, on the front row. So we'll see if the Gray Wolves can handle not only this atmosphere, but the temperature inside this building as well.
And it is going to be loud. I'm telling you, once Rashad Bishop or one of these high flyers gets a hold of a dunk, this is going to erupt. This gym is going to erupt.
Well, this is going to be a high octane, I can't even talk here, a high octane style of basketball game tonight. But again, do the Gray Wolves really want to run with Georgetown? The key is going to be Georgetown's got to be locked in on defense. They were locked in for probably about 30 of the 40 minutes in the Mid-South Conference championship game against the Lions of Freed Hardman. And that was evident by the 20-point lead they built up, only to let it slip away because they lost focus defensively and let the Lions back in. And the Lions won the game 68-66 over Georgetown. So we'll see if Georgetown will stay focused defensively, and let's see if Lourdes can run with Georgetown. Georgetown, I call it organized street basketball is what they like to play. They will run it up down the floor. They will shoot it from anywhere on the floor, especially number 2 in white, Jake Omer, as the Tigers take the floor. This one's going to be interesting, folks, so buckle your seatbelts up. And if you got no drink by your television or your computer screen or whatever you're watching us on tonight, go get you 3 or 4 glasses of it.
Make some popcorn.
Make you some
let's have a night of
popcorn.
it.
You better call somebody to deliver your food, whether it's pizza or whatever. Have them deliver your food to the house. Don't shy away from your viewing device this evening. This one should be entertaining.
Yeah, you're not going to want to miss any of this action tonight.
Well, the 2 guys for Georgetown that to look for defensively for Coach Dennis Hobson's team, if you will allow me to choke myself to death here for a minute, LC. But it's Jackie Harris. He wears 34. He is a 6'6" senior out of Toledo, Ohio. He's averaging 17.3 points a game. And Joey Holyfield, who is a 6'1" junior, also out of Toledo, at Cardinal Stritch High School, which everybody's familiar with about that football program up there at Cardinal Stritch. He's averaging 17 points a game. And then the third member of the Gray Wolves in double figures on the year is Little Anderson. Now, I bet you it's probably Littell. So I'm going to wait and hear our public address announcer here read his name before I say any more. But Anderson is averaging 14.3 points per ball game. They play a lot of guys, so we'll see if that holds true come the postseason here.
Yeah, and this team, the Lourdes has depth, but so does Georgetown. You know, it's one of the things that we're known for is being able to go, 1 through 10. We got a bunch of guys that can play, and he's not afraid to put them in there.
Well, Lourdes has an orange tint to their uniforms. Their uniforms, though, are that burnt orange, a la the University of Texas. So we'll see what happens here in Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Common opponent, Wilberforce. Of all things, of course, Wilberforce out of Ohio, a new member in the Mid-South Conference. Georgetown played Wilberforce twice, blew them out twice. I think they beat them by 40 up in Ohio, beat them by about 32 here in Georgetown.
Now, Lourdes, on the other hand.
Lourdes struggled with them right in the first game of the year. 82-74, the Gray Wolves knocked off Wilberforce at Wilberforce. So that's the only game that we can compare. And, it was early in the year for Coach Hobson's ball club, so we'll see if that is any indication of what this game may turn out to be. Who knows? But they're going to have to do two things. One is they're going to have to get back on defense because Georgetown, even on makes, they're going to run. So they got to get back on defense quickly to the Gray Wolves, but they're also going to have to shoot the basketball well. They can't allow Georgetown to have either easy baskets off turnovers or bad shot misses that lead to runouts for Georgetown. So that's the two things. With Georgetown, we talked about it. They've got to shoot the ball well. They've got to be locked in on defense, and then they have to get this crowd involved.
And they're ready to get involved, too. I mean, the football guys are already oohing and on at these dunk highlights that are going on here in warm-ups.
Georgetown has four guys lead in double figures on the year, led by senior Jake Omer out of Taylor Mill, Kentucky, 16.4 points per ball game. You have Cam Brooks Harris, who hasn't scored very well over the last few weeks, but he's done other things. He's distributed the basketball. He's rebounded. He's played defense.
And that's what he does. He's a smart, unselfish basketball player.
Yep. And he's averaging 11.8 points per game. Tay Dozier is averaging 10.2 points per ball game. And Kyron Jones, off of injury, he's averaging 10 points a game and 10.2 rebounds a game.
One of the biggest rebounders on this team, and he's done it over the years. A truly special player.
And he is the only player averaging a double-double on either roster. So
there you go.
We shall see how this plays out. We're a minute and a half away. We'll step out for 45 seconds and be back. It'll be Lourdes and Georgetown, the winner to meet Indiana Wesleyan tomorrow night. Back here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, we're getting ready to get set for game number 2 of the NAIA National Tournament. and Georgetown College playing host. As you hear the public address announcer, this is the 85th year of the NAIA National Basketball Championship. It'll be the Gray Wolves of Lourdes. Assistant coaches Brady Perry, Stephen Corgans, Jake Dupree, and head coach Dennis Hobson. Of course, Georgetown led by student assistants Chase Goins, Hayden Shelton, assistant coaches Brendan Woody and Rodney Haddix, and the head coach Chris Briggs, who has won over 350 games. He is the fourth coach in Georgetown College history to win at least 350 games. It started with Dr. Bob Davis, went to Jim Reed, went to Happy Osborne. Those three previous coaches, folks, all NAIA basketball. Actually, they're National Basketball Hall of Famers, all three of them. And Chris Briggs is right there with them.
And dare I say, he's on his way to making it there as well.
Yeah. It'll be Georgetown, the host team, wearing white. We're going to have the national anthem for the second game as well. The national anthem will have the starting lineups. First, for the Gray Wolves of Lourdes University out of Sylvania, Ohio. It'll be Joey Holyfield at one guard. He's 6'1", a junior out of Toledo, Ohio's Cardinal Stritch High School, averaging 17 points per ball game. It'll be Cliff Snow, a 6'4", redshirt senior out of Middletown, Ohio, and Middletown High School, averaging 10.1 points, 6.6 rebounds per game. It'll be Charles Swain, a 5'11", redshirt senior out of Cincinnati, Ohio, Freed-Hardeman University, a transfer, averaging 4.6, 1.7. The leading scorer for the Gray Wolves, Jackie Harris, a 6'6", senior out of Toledo, Ohio, transferred in from Division II Wayne State, averaging 17.3 and 7.2 points, or 7.2 rebounds per game. Also, Littell Anderson, 6'2", senior out of Toledo's Cardinal Stritch High School, 14.3 points per ball game. For Georgetown, it'll be Jake Omer, 6'1", senior out of Taylor Mill, Kentucky, Scott High School, averaging 16.4 points. Cam Brooks out of Zanesville, Ohio, averaging 11.8, 4.7 rebounds. Brooks Harris is 6'7" and a junior. Jaquay Wells, a 5'11" junior out of Louisville, Kentucky's Butler High School, averaging 7.1 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. Tay Dozier also in the starting lineup for Georgetown. Dozier, 6'5" freshman, also out of Louisville Butler High School, 10.2 points, 5.8 rebounds a game, and 4.5 assists per game. Also for Georgetown, Drew Lamont, 6'8" senior out of Broward, Florida, an American Heritage High School, averaging 8.5 points per game and 3.9 rebounds per game. So it's Georgetown and Lourdes. And Lourdes better get on the backboard because they were out-rebounded in 50% of their games. Just by looking at what I could at the last minute this afternoon. Georgetown will crash the glass.
And that's got to be in their game plan. It always has been. You know, attack the boards, be aggressive on both ends of the floor, and grab those rebounds.
Well, Georgetown, like I said, will go to the rim, go to the glass. Lourdes needs to limit the Tigers to one shot. They can't give up multiple shots on trips. It'll be Harris against Lamont, and Tigers will move right to left on your video device. And they'll look at what I believe is a 1-3-1 zone. This is Omer. Skip pass over here to Wales. Straight away Lamont. High post to Brooks Harris. To Wales. Left three on the way from the wing. No. Rebounded backside by Snow. And they limit on the first trip one shot to the Gray Wolves.
And already this crowd is super involved.
This is Harris straight away. Lamont has drawn the assignment on him defensively. Here's a bad pass. Harris tried to bounce that on a backdoor cut with three white shirts between him and the intended receiver of the pass. Omer penetrates, bounces down low to Dozier, punched away from behind by Anderson. That was a layup for Dozier.
And good quick hands for Anderson, being able to poke that ball away, saving the bucket.
55 seconds in, we're scoreless. They lob inside to Brooks Harris. Lamont out of the corner for three. Yes, sir.
And what a beautiful way to start this game off for Lamont. Wide open in the corner.
The transfer out of the University of Wyoming as well. 3-0 is the score. What do we got? 18:54 on the clock. It was 18:58. 4 seconds put back on the clock. 3-0 Tigers on the three by Lamont. This is Snow. Gives it to Swain. Now to Holyfield. And I think the football team has picked Holyfield. And a foul on Dozier. A little late getting there. Trailing on the screen was Dozier, and he just couldn't stop. Now, Taya's been getting in foul trouble early on in some games over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
I like the aggression early.
This is Harris around to Holyfield. Snow fakes. Pulls up, 16-footer. No good, too strong. Dozier, though, rips the rebound down. Off to Omer. Floater, 7, no. Dozier, though, skies, can't clear. Here comes Harris with the rebound. Off it goes to Anderson. Anderson working on Brooks Harris into the lane. Came to a stop, almost traveled, but gives it back out to Snow. 3 on the way, back rim, no. Wells with a backside rebound, and that thing clanked off the heel of the rim. Lamont to Wells, to Dozier. Dozier behind him to Omer. 3 on the way, in and out. Lamont going to be called the first foul of the game, or on the Gray Wolves, goes on Jackie Harris, the leading scorer for the Gray Wolves. They can ill afford to have him get in foul trouble early. Wells tried to get it in. Snow knocks it away.
And Jake Omer only needs a split second to shoot that ball.
Well, the Gray Wolves got lucky because they didn't close out with their hands up, and Omer usually will make you pay. They give it in to Lamont. Now to Wells, who fakes the handoff, and they swing it around. It's a 2-3 zone now for the Gray Wolves. Wells, they're going to dare Wells to shoot. Wells penetrates back out to Omer. Omer penetrates down low to Dozier. 4 on the shot clock. Brooks Harris for 3. Got it.
CBH from way downtown. Great ball movement by the Tigers.
6-0 Tigers inside the first 2.5 minutes. Yeah, the football team has chosen Holyfield to ride the whole night. Holyfield working on Wells. Backs him in. Backs him down. Good job by Jaquay.
Good
challenges.
defense.
Yeah. Good job of keeping his ground. Ahead to Wells. Back to Omer. Omer gives back to Wells. Jake was about ready to crank it up, and Snow closed out. This is Dozier. Back to Wells. 10 on the shot clock. CBH down low to Dozier. Left corner, Omer. No. Dozier has the rebound. Off to Lamont. To Wells on the right side. Dozier, high post. Back to Lamont. Georgetown, good ball movement. Good, even better spacing. This is CBH. Cross court to Lamont. 3. No. Snow with a rebound. Georgetown cranking it up from 3 here early on. 3.5 minutes in, Lourdes looking for their first points of the game. Holyfield on Lamont, over him, high off the glass and in.
Tough move by Holyfield. Quiets that crowd a little bit.
Yeah, that wasn't a really quality shot for the Gray Wolves, but it gets them off the schneid with their first points of the night. It's 6-2 Georgetown. 15 on the shot clock. Dozier bobbled the pass. Goes in the right corner to CBH. 3 on the way. No. Rebounded by Snow. Georgetown falling in love with the 3 right now. Down the lane. Hanging. No good. Rebounded by Omer. Omer ahead to Dozier. Dozier working on Snow. Got it.
A beautiful Euro step by Tay Dozier.
8-2 Georgetown. 15:40 to play in the opening half. Tigers are out and running. Here's Snow in the corner. Here's a 3 on the way. Yes, sir.
And Tay's got to close out, put a hand up. That's a good shooter.
Charles Swain only averages 4.6 points a game. He has 3 already. It's 8-5 Tigers. Pressure coming from Lourdes is just kind of enough to bother Georgetown, but also get that shot clock down. Wells got it across the timeline with 2 to get it across. Wells here on the near side. Goes off with a screen. Now to Dozier. Dozier puts it on the floor, penetrates. A blocking foul on Harris. And the Gray Wolf bench doesn't agree with it, but Harris was there, but before Dozier ever got there, Harris started falling. That's a block.
And let me say this. I love the intensity of Tay Dozier right now on the offensive end and especially crashing the boards. He's flying around everywhere tonight. Let's see if he can keep it up.
Dozier at the line for 2, and he misses the first free throw. Georgetown is only shooting from the free throw line 69.5%. So they are not a quality shooting team from the foul line. Dozier is 0 for 1 here, and on the year for, he misses both, rebounded by Anderson. Dozier, for everything he does, struggles from the foul line. He's not a terrible shooter, but nothing. With an athlete like that, you want. Here's a 3, no good, rebounded by Georgetown. Omer, all the way to the rim, put it up, no good, and a foul. Coming up on the guy who just came in, Fahad Fahale from Amman, Jordan, out in South Mountain Community College.
And he just got a stern talking to by Coach on taking that shot.
Coach Hobson. And Georgetown's Jake Omer at the line for 2. Omer is one of those free throw shooters for Georgetown that's the exception to the rule. He hits the first. Omer is a 75% foul shooter. First points of the night for Omer. And it's 9-5 Tigers. And Omer hits the second, and he doubles up. The Tigers do, the Gray Wolves. This is Holyfield. Here on the near side, it comes to Stevens. Stevens works around, double team, loses it, and it goes off the leg of Stevens. It goes to Georgetown. That was Omer who stuck his hand in there and knocked it away from Stevens.
Jake Omer right now, he's locked in on both sides of the ball.
Not known for his defense. Not known for his defense. But Chris Briggs will tell you he's better defensively than he gets credit for.
There you go. And it shows right there.
Kyron Jones replaces Drew Lamont. Wales with the basketball, hollering. Boy, they have a huge crowd in here tonight. CBH in the corner to Dozier. Dozier drives baseline, gives it to Kyron Jones, and a foul coming up on Snow.
Right now, the Tigers are getting down low and drawing that contact, getting to the line. Their third trip to the line in the past minute.
Well, Georgetown's getting into the lane, and that is a Georgetown characteristic under every coach they've had for the last 50-plus years. Bob Davis, Jim Reed, Happy Osborne, and now Chris Briggs. That's over 1,000 victories just for those 4 coaches. 1,300 to be exact almost.
It's a great strategy. Attack that paint and get the high percentage looks.
Georgetown now 2 of 5 from the foul line early on. Got to hit free throws in national tournament game. Jones misses the second one and rebounded by Dominic Cole, 22 in orange. Cole is a 6'5 junior out of Toledo, Ohio, Siena Heights. Holyfield over Kyron Jones, missed it bad. Omer has it knocked out of his hands, but it hits Jake last. And the Gray Wolves.
And look at the crowd involvement right here.
Yep. Georgetown football team right behind Holyfield. Inbounds to Cole. Is it to Holyfield? Working on Wells on that far side. Here's a deep three for Swain, way off. Jones with yet another rebound. 13.5 to play. Tigers lead 10-5. Dozier has it on the far side, around to Omer. Omer down the lane, tried to get it to Jones, tipped away into the hands of Wales. Omer in the corner to Wales, to Dozier. To CBH, knocked away. And they'll stay with Georgetown. 9 to shoot with 13-17 to play. Georgetown right now giving up some looks. CBH had one from about 18 feet and dribbled too far into the lane and almost turned the ball over. Dozier down the lane, floater falling away into the baseline.
Unbelievable, the off-balance floater. Beautiful touch by Dozier.
4 for Dozier. It's 12-5 Tigers. Cole gives a screen to Anderson. Down on the left block to Cole. He's not going to have a strength advantage with it. Kyron Jones. Here's 3 on the way from Anderson. Back rim, no. Jones with a rebound. Bobbles it, gets it back off to Wales. Wales to Jones. CBH, they're going to call it travel. It was a late whistle, but it was a good call.
Jones
late
doesn't
whistle.
agree, but
Yeah, well,
those feet were moving.
yeah. Good call, but he needs, for young folks out there, jump stop. That's why you don't come to a stop like that. You jump stop. Holyfield now to Snow. Snow. Wales has him on the switch. Left block, fall away from 7. No. Rebounded by Kyron Jones. Off to Wales. Wales to CBH. Down the right block to Jones. Spins in the lane, throws to Omer, rescues a high pass. Down the right baseline, underhand pass to Jones, who wasn't ready for it. 15 to shoot. Wells.
Jake's in the corner.
To Omer. Just a sliver, it's all he needs. Count it.
Right on cue. Can't give Jake Omer that kind of space.
5 for Omer. That's the third 3 of the first half for Georgetown. Tigers lead 15-5. Anderson working on Omer. Pulls up, 8-footer good. Anderson with his first 2.
And that's just a mismatch.
Yeah. Omer held his ground. He forced a fall-away shot by Anderson, but Anderson knocked it down. 11.5 to play. Wales with a high screen from Dozier. Now to Omer. To Wells. 7 to shoot. Omer lets it fly short. Jones crashes the board, but Snow brings it down. Not a good half-court set that time for Georgetown. Holyfield being harassed by Wells, and I mean, he goes over Wells, missed it. Rebounded by Wells.
Great defense by Wales.
Ahead to Dozier with a lane. No look pass to Jones. Brooks Harris for three. Way too strong. Here's a three for Anderson. No. Wales claims the rebound. As we play back and forth. A couple of substitutes for Georgetown. Wales. High post to Jones. Back to Wales. Georgetown having trouble with this matchup zone right now for Lourdes. Wells, 9 to shoot. High post to Jones. 17-footer. Back rim, no. Rebounded by Snow. Georgetown needs to penetrate on this zone. They're passing around the perimeter, not getting an easy shot. Snow spins in the lane, got caught up in the air to Swain. Now to Snow, and he traveled. Timeout on the floor. 9:56 to play in the first half. It's Georgetown 15, Lourdes 7. Back with more of the NAIA National Basketball Tournament. Back here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym on the campus of Georgetown College. Tigers with a 15-7 lead. They'll have the basketball as we come out of the media timeout, and a big move here for Coach Hobson. He's got Jackie Harris, his leading scorer and senior, back in with 2 fouls. This is a kind of a gamble here early on for Coach Hobson.
It's a gamble, but it also shows his trust in his players. You know, he wants him to go out there and play hard and play defense without fouling. Let's see if he can get it done.
Jabrion Spikes, number 4 in white, is in. Spikes, 6'2 freshman out of Princeton, Kentucky's Caldwell County High School. In front court to Dozier and the human pogo stick. Rashad Bishop, 6'7", out of Louisville Ballard. A freshman is in the lineup, 24 in white. Omer, as Jones falls down, and we're at 6 on the shot clock. Jones jumps into the lane, no good. Tipped up, no good. He gets it back, puts it up, and a foul. They're going to count it, I believe. Let's see. Yep, they are.
Kyron Jones had enough. He took that ball and took it straight to the rack.
His first 2 at 17-7. The foul is on number 3, Stephen Coleman Jr., who's into the lineup for the first time tonight. They're going to wave it off. They're going to wave off the basket and give Jones for 2. He missed 2 free throws a moment ago. So wave the basket off. Jones's free throw is
the friendly roll.
Yeah, the real friendly roll. He hit the front iron, hit the back iron, then rolled, took a couple of trips around and fell. 16-7 Tigers. The second one from Jones. That one tried the same philosophy, and this one rolls off.
That one was not so friendly. Tigers not doing great at the free throw line.
1 of 4 from the foul line is Kyron. 16-7 Georgetown. This is Coleman straight away. Now to Anderson, to Harris. Harris working on Rashad. Shot no good. Coleman with a rebound. He put it up no good, and a foul on Georgetown's Kyron Jones. Here's the thing that Georgetown has a tendency to do. They try to rely on their athleticism to rebound, but you have a team that's pretty athletic themselves in Lourdes. You got to stick a body on them, then go get it. Coleman's free throw is a laser that comes up empty. Coleman.
And right now there's a childbirth going on right behind the basket.
They are very inventive. Coleman is a 57% foul shooter. He hits the second. He goes 1 of 2.
What a performance from behind the backboard, but able to knock it down.
How would you like to be the young man who was the one that was portrayed to be the lady in that scenario, huh?
Well, not quite sure.
Yeah. They go down low. They got it to Bishop. I think the pass was intended for Jones. Spikes. No look. Pass to Kyron Jones for the lay-in.
Solid dish by Spikes.
3 now for Jones. Sorry.
Easy look for Kyron Jones.
Seth Johnson will report back, or will report for Georgetown here in a minute. This is Swain on the right wing to Harris. Gives to Anderson. Anderson working on Omer. Nice job by Omer moving his feet. Swain for 3. Got it.
And he had way too much time to line that one up.
Jaquay's got to come out with it. I think that might have been Spikes. Dozier got to have your hands up. 18-11. Jones driving, puts it up and in.
Kyron Jones menacingly to the basket.
Jackie Harris has to be careful. He kind of let him go because if he challenges, he could pick up foul number 3. 20-11, Georgetown. Anderson back to Harris. Harris gives it off. Ball knocked away, back into the hands of Holyfield. Holyfield now has got to really deal with a guy that's got some. Missed the shot, tips it up, no. Rebounded by Jones. Jones to Dozier. He has Bishop with him. Look out!
Oh my gosh.
Holy moly.
Tay Dozier, the high flyer.
Either one of those were going to be a highlight. It was either going to be Tay Dozier with a tomahawk with the right hand, or it was going to be a lob to Rashad Bishop, folks, who will need clearance for takeoff.
Oh, my goodness.
Unreal.
Man, I hope somebody got a picture of that because Dozier was in the air forever. What a dunk.
22-11. Georgetown. Doubling up Lourdes, and Coach Dennis Hobson said, we are not getting things offensively in our half-court set. Now, they are starting to settle, the Gray Wolves, LC, with basically one-on-one, try to back a Georgetown defender down. To me, with that timeout with Coach Hobson telling me that's not what he wants. He wants player movement. He wants ball movement, and he's not getting it. And I will tell you what, he lit into his team on the way to the bench. Coach Hobson looks like he can still play. Here come the Gray Wolves. They need a basket right now, trailing by 11 with 7:10 to play. Here's Anderson, guarded by Johnson right now. Sterling Hopkins is the young man, 2 in orange. Down the lane, blocked out of there by Rashad Bishop.
Beautiful help defense by Bishop. Sent that ball away.
Holy smokes, he came out of nowhere. Folks, I'm not exaggerating, and he's got another level than anybody I've seen in a Georgetown uniform. He can flat jump out of the gym, literally. Harris is going to try to deal with him. Hopkins now. Step back, loses it. Wales has it. Got bumped. They play on. Johnson calling for the ball in the right corner. Spikes to Wells. Back to Spikes. Penetrates, cut off, back to Johnson in the right corner. Johnson brings it out. Now across he goes to Wells. Wells to Johnson on the right wing. Down the right block to Bishop. And he's going to be called for steps. Rashad was looking, I think, for Kyron Jones, who was diving from the free throw line to the rim. Kyron wasn't looking, so it caused Rashad to travel. Holyfield Now dealing with Jabron Spikes. And Jabron Spikes is as physical as he is. Coleman with a jump shot, no good. Rebound by Spikes. Georgetown's already played 9 here in the first half. Wells to Johnson. Right corner to Bishop. Cross court to Wells. He has Bishop available in the short corner. 9 to shoot. Johnson. High post to Jones. Jumper. No. Bishop rebounds. Puts it up and in. Rashawn, if he controls that, was going to slam it, folks.
And quickly on the other end.
Anderson, no. Rebounded by Jones. Jones behind the back to Wells, to Johnson. They missed Rashad on the lob. It's a media timeout. 5:25 to play in the first half. It's Tigers over the Gray Wolves, 24-11. Georgetown will have it here on the near side. And they'll inbounds to Jaquay Wells. It's Wells, Spikes, Johnson, Jones, and Bishop for the Tigers. It's Harris, Coleman, along with Hopkins. Here's a bad pass on the floor, and they get it back to Harris. Bad pass for trying to get it in on the high post to Kyron Jones. Harris gives to Anderson. Johnson now has the defensive assignment on Harris. Bad pass. Here comes Wells. He has Bishop trailing him, but he lays it in.
Wales with a smooth finish. Nice and easy.
He was looking to bang it off the backboard, but Rashad hollered him all the way, saying, take it, take it, take it. This is Hopkins. Back to Harris. Harris has had one look at the basket. Holyfield straight away, 17. No, rebounded by Spikes. Spikes angles here to the near side. Lourdes back in that. I assume it's a 2-3 matchup. Here's Spikes. Baseline to Bishop. Cross court to Wells in the right corner. Somehow Wells caught that thing without going out of bounds. To Jones. Jones penetrates, puts it up off the glass, comes off. Rebound tipped around. Jones has it. Double team, triple teamed, and they take it away. Here's Coleman to Hopkins. Hopkins misses the layup. But a foul on Jaquay Wells, who took a shoulder or an elbow to the
I'll tell you what, Wales got
lower
called.
extremities.
Wales got called for the foul, but he got the worst of that one.
Yeah. Hopkins will shoot free throws. Lourdes is 0 for 2 from the foul line. That's the first foul on Wells. That's 3 on Georgetown. Tigers lead 26-11 with just under 4 minutes to play in the first half. Hasn't been a thing of beauty for Georgetown, but defensively, they're really making it tough on Lourdes on the defensive end.
And right now, this crowd is making it tough for the free throw shooters.
Hopkins misses the first free throw. Man, if they'd done it right, they would have half the football team on one end, the other half on the other end. Drew Lamont back in for Georgetown. Kyron Jones, Seth Johnson go to the field as Jake Omer also returns. Hopkins for his second free throw. No good. Rebounded by Bishop. Lourdes really struggling from the foul line. They are a 72% foul shooting team coming in. They are 0 for 4. Now, Georgetown not known for free throw shooting, so we're at 2 for 6 for the Tigers. Omer had it knocked away, got it back. Floater from 10, no. Rebound tipped, and I think it was off the shoulder of Bishop, and it does. Not a good shot by Jake there. Kind of forced it a little bit. Holyfield will be guarded by Jake, and Coach Briggs says, come back. I want you on Coleman. I got Wales taking Holyfield. Right wing, it comes to Hopkins. High post to Harris. Down low to Holyfield. Backs in on Wales. Missed it from in close. Tipped out. Spikes with it. And then Coleman with a body check.
And that's not the guy you want to body check.
No, that was a cross check. Spikes is built like this table we're sitting at. Very stout young man.
I wouldn't be surprised if the football coach said something to Spikes after the game.
Yeah.
Looking for another running back possibly.
This is Wales. Right wing to Spikes. Boy, he has Lamont available if he wants him there. Now they get it there in the mid post. Turns from 8. Got it.
And right on cue, Lamont.
Boy, they are spreading that defense out as Georgetown, and they're being very patient. 5 for Lamont is 28-11. And right now you're in a little bit of a danger zone. If you're Lourdes, you cannot lose much more ground. Harris and a foul on Lamont. And that's one of those fouls that if you're Georgetown, you'll take. That's the first on Lamont. That's the fourth on Georgetown. But you've had a lot more contact other than what they call freedom of movement. So they lob it out deep to Harris. If Lamont turns around, he's got an interception. 2.5 to play. Big possession for Lourdes here as they go to the 10 seconds to shoot. Harris straight away, about 22 feet away from the basket. 4 to shoot. Holyfield down the lane, blocked out of there by Rashad Bishop, but a foul. Ball was gone on the block shot by the contact was created by Holyfield, who threw that left arm out after the shot was blocked and was gone about 15 feet away. Holyfield will shoot 2. First foul on, they say Britches? Is that what they say?
Easy pickings is what they're
easy
saying.
pickings. Okay, I couldn't hear.
And finally, Lourdes is getting some success at the free throw line.
They hit the first free throw of the night. They're 1 of 5. Second one for Holyfield is also good. He has 4 now. 16. Or 4 for Holyfield. The lead is 18 for Georgetown. Excuse me, 16. Yeah, 20, 15. They just switched it around. 28-13, Tigers. Lamont to Omer, now to Wales. Wales looking at Holyfield, now in the corner to Spikes. Spikes will lob it down low to Bishop. Bishop will turn on Snow. Into the lane, jump hook, too strong. Rebounded by Coleman. He goes all the way to the lane. Circus shot goes.
Coleman flying into the paint.
Georgetown.
Tough finish.
Georgetown, nobody stood to take a charge. Holyfield standing on the inline. He stripped Wales, but I thought he also got a little bit of the arm. But Georgetown gets the ball back as Coleman is shaken up. And no, that's not part of the uniform you see hanging out of the pant legs of Coleman. That is some spandex shorts that are 3 from Omer.
Jake Omer, he does not need a ton of room to get that shot off.
The only thing I can equate that release of Jake Omer is of Dan Marino is that quick flick of the wrist. 31-15 Tigers by 16. Harris down the lane. Works in on Lamont. Threw that shoulder and missed the shot. Good job by Lamont. Ahead to Spikes for the lay-in.
Spikes with the speed.
That was a great pass by Omer. Harris for three, way short.
And a great contest by Drew Lamont.
And Lourdes really out of sync here in the first half against this Georgetown pressure, but this crowd is really fueling.
And they don't need a whole lot of ammo,
No.
but right now Lourdes is giving it to him.
Yeah.
Another air ball feeding right into him.
And that was a bad shot by Harris again. He was probably a couple of steps out of his range. Didn't have his feet set underneath of him either. He's a much better shooter than what he's showing in the first half. Wales to Lamont. Right block, he goes to Bishop. Penetrates to Wales. Lamont three. No. Bishop had the rebound, but a hold coming up on Lourdes.
And right now, Rashad Bishop is drawing so much attention in the paint. You saw three defenders trying to close in onto him as soon as he got the ball down low.
Foul is on Coleman, his second. That's the seventh on Lourdes. Now the football team, Alan, we want Jackie. We're talking about Jackie Harris. I appreciate a good student body and a good student section. However, you don't want to wake up a sleeping dog. Right now, Harris is scoreless. Bishop hits the first free throw. Rashad on the year is a 57%, I'm sorry. He is a 58% foul shooter. And
There
he
you go.
misses the second. 34-15 Tigers. Holyfield with it. We're under 20 seconds to play. Looks like Lourdes might play for the final shot of the half and kind of go to the locker room and get regrouped. 10 on the clock. Wells is really dogging. Knocked away by Lamont. Lamont leads the break. Omer for three out of the corner. No. Rebounded by Holyfield. And boy, if you are Lourdes, you needed Omer to miss a wide open look at a three because you're going to go in down 19. You could have been down 22.
And I think right now they're a little bit rattled, Lourdes. You know, they
Yes.
weren't expecting as big of a crowd as they got today, but it is loud and the fans are proud.
The Tigers lead here at the halftime break, 34-15 over Lourdes of Ohio here at the halftime break. The winner gets Indiana Wesleyan University tomorrow night for the right to go to Kansas City.
And get this, the leading scorer for Lourdes right now is Charles Swain. He's hit 2 threes. He's got 6 points. The next leading scorer is Holyfield with 4 points. The Tigers are just doing an outstanding job defensively and not allowing them to get easy buckets in the paint.
Tigers have put 7 guys in the scoring column. Lourdes has 5, but their leading scorer, Jackie Harris, has yet to score. He has 2 fouls. Their second leading scorer, in Joey Holyfield, has only 4 here at the halftime break.
For the Tigers, Jake Omer leading the charge with 8 points. He's got 3 rebounds as well, knocking down 2 of 6 of his three-pointers. Tay Dozier with 6 points, 2 rebounds. And then all across the board, 5 points for Kyron Jones, 5 points for Drew Lamont. Cam's got 3, Bishop's got 3, Wales has 2. Everybody's getting on the board for the Tigers.
Matter of fact, that 3 for CBH is his only field goal of the first half. It was the first field goal of the game for the Tigers.
And a great way to start us off.
Yep. So Tigers lead here at the halftime break, 34-15. A date with the Wildcats of Indiana Wesleyan on the line for the winner of this one. And it'll take place tomorrow night here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym at 7 o'clock for the tip-off. Back with more halftime of the NAIA National Basketball Tournament. Back at Davis Reed Alumni Gym, halftime of our second game of the NAIA National Basketball Championship Tournament here in the Duer bracket. This pod here in Georgetown, Kentucky, the Georgetown College Tigers, the host school, leading the Gray Wolves of Lourdes University out of Sylvania, Ohio, here at the halftime break by a score of 34-15. LC, if you're Chris Briggs, you got to, first off, like the way your defense has come to play in the first 20 minutes.
Absolutely. I mean, they're not allowing easy shots in the paint, and they're defending the free ball pretty well. The only statistic that Lourdes has the Tigers beat right now is they're shooting 50% from the free throw line, and the Tigers are 4 of 10, shooting 40% at the line. So a little bit of struggle on both ends for both of these teams at the free throw line.
Yep. 2 of 6 for Lourdes at the foul line. Georgetown, as LC just said, 4 of 10 from the foul line. Tigers aren't a very good foul shooting team at all. However, Lourdes is a really good shooting team from the field overall.
But not tonight.
They shoot 47.1% from the floor, 37% from behind the arc. But tonight, they are what?
They're 5 of 26, 19% from the field.
What about behind the arc? 2 of what?
2 of 9 from three-point land.
And that's what?
22%.
That's not going to get it done for the Gray Wolves, who are making an appearance here. This is the second consecutive year the Gray Wolves have been in the NAIA National Tournament. The problem is you're having to deal with a Georgetown team that's playing at home before a raucous crowd and in an environment, as far as the temperature is concerned, that they are probably not used to.
It is extremely
no
hot.
team is. We are, because we get to broadcast from here on a routine basis. But Lourdes looked like they were a little winded at the end of that first half. They took some very ill-advised shots. Remember, I told you in the pregame, Lourdes did not want to take bad shots that led to easy baskets on the other end. They did that 3 out of the last 7 possessions of that first half, and it led to easy baskets for Georgetown on the other end. Now, if you're Georgetown, if you're Lourdes and Coach Dennis Hobson, you're not going to get back in it with just one shot. You got to chip away at this 19-point lead that you are deficit that you're facing. So I think what you're going to see Lourdes do is they're going to get away from this isolation stuff that I think got them in trouble in the first half. And I think you're going to see them try to run more continuity to their offense and get more player movement, more ball movement, and therefore get better shots from their go-to guys, especially Holyfield and Harris. They have to get Harris going. Holyfield only has 4, but Harris is the guy they really need to get going. He is scoreless in the first half.
And it's obvious that Coach Briggs game planned for Harris, their leading scorer. He made it a point to attack him defensively. And right now the Tigers are doing that, putting multiple bodies on him down low, doing everything that they can to not allow him to score buckets.
Well, that's what you have to do with a scorer like Harris. 9 times out of 10, good scorers don't like to play. I don't want to say don't like to play. Defense is not their strong suit for the most part. I don't know of many guys that's the case. But I will say this. Harris himself took a couple of bad shots basically out of frustration. Because I will tell you, was it Dozier that was on him for most of that first half? No, it was Lamont. Drew Lamont was on him for a little bit. That's 6'8" against 6'6". Lamont has better capability of extending defensively. But Harris has to let the game come to him, because if he doesn't, and Holyfield continues to be held down, if you're a Lourdes fan, you have no shot. Those two guys have to start get going because I think if you're the Gray Wolves, if Harris and Holyfield get going, now they don't have to go off and have a ton of points in the second half, but if they get going and hit a couple of shots, that gets the rest of the team going. And if you're Georgetown, you want to continue to attack both those guys on your offensive end. So let's see what the adjustments both coaches make. I think Lourdes has to get out of that zone defense, because Georgetown got what they wanted when they wanted in the paint.
Absolutely. And right now, the Tigers are dominating in transition. They're scoring points off their turnovers. Right now, they got 6 points off of their turnovers, and the Lourdes has 0 points off of turnovers. So
now Lourdes is a team that can get back quickly if they shoot the three-point shot better in their second half. They are a 37% shooting team from behind the three-point arc. However, they're at 22% here in the first half, 2 of 9, and I could probably count on one hand the number of shots that were contested threes. Probably 5 of the 9 were contested. That's where the ball movement and player movement for Lourdes will help the Gray Wolves get some open looks. If they don't, we can see similar reactions in the second half. They are a frustrated ball club right now, and it's got a lot to do with the Georgetown half-court defensive pressure. Georgetown leads here at the halftime break, 34-15. The National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics and its 260 member colleges and universities, along with 65,000 student athletes, are committed to promoting character development in athletics by embracing the values of integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, and servant leadership on the field of play, in the classroom, and in their local communities. Their goal is to improve the culture of sport. With that in mind, we ask all players, coaches, officials, and spectators to help us and the NAIA by being positive role models before, during, and after today's game. Georgetown will have the Lourdes will have the basketball to begin the second half of play, and they need to get something positive. I mean, if they get to the foul line even on this first trip, then they can build from there. But they've got to get something positive on this initial possession of the second half.
You're absolutely right. They got to set the tone early and let it be known that this half is going to go differently than the last half.
They shot a whopping, what was that from the field overall, 29% in the first half. It will be Snow, Holyfield, Harris, Swain, and Anderson for Coach Dennis Hobson. It'll be Lamont. They go down low, and it's a bad pass.
Sloppy pass.
Oh, somebody got a finger on it for Georgetown. It's Lamont, Dozier, Wales, Brooks Harris, and Omer, the same 5 for both teams to start. Almost a bad possession for Lourdes. Snow with it on the left baseline. Swain covered up by Dozier. Now to Harris. Anderson, right baseline. It goes to Holyfield, backing down on Wales. Wales loses his footing, and Holyfield gets the first 2 of the second half.
And there you go, just like we talked about, Lourdes getting on the board early.
And Wales took a finger in the eye, and that's Holyfield. Inadvertent. He reached in to get the ball, but he hit Wales. I don't know if he hit him in the eye or he hit him in the jaw. Got him in the mouth, not the jaw. I was all the way wrong. CBH over to Omer, working on Harris. Trying to go around to Lamont, bad pass, and a foul coming up on Lamont. That's the second on Georgetown.
And Joey Holyfield read that hook around pass beautifully, intercepted it, and got the turnover.
Second on Lamont, and the Tigers have started off a little shaky here in the second half. But you got something positive for the Gray Wolves on their initial possession. You get a turnover, and now you get the basketball back with a chance to cut into this lead more. Here's Holyfield. Gets a screen. Wales right there. CBH on the help to Snow. Snow Into the lane, backs down. Over CBH, got it.
And that was good defense by CBH.
A 4-0 run to start this half. As Omer will weave his way in traffic and bring it back out. So Lourdes, 2 possessions, 2 baskets. Something positive to build on for the Gray Wolves.
Let's see if they can continue to stack these turnovers defensively.
Lamont to Omer, 10 to shoot. Picked by Swain. And a foul coming up on Omer.
Yep.
And that's 3 on Georgetown to start. The first on Omer. And that was one where they both got their feet tangled up. That's a tough foul on anybody. But Omer picks up the foul. That's 3 on Georgetown already here in this half. 1 on, should be 3-0, isn't it, on fouls? Anderson down the lane, no, rebounded by CBH. Off to Wales. Georgetown running. Lamont out of the corner for 3, no. Rebounded by Snow. Snow lobs it out front to Holyfield. Holyfield down the lane, loses it. In the lane, down on the seat of his britches. Snow, 3, left wing, no. Tipped up, Holyfield, good.
So
Timeout, Georgetown.
Holyfield getting some positive plays on both ends of the floor.
He's got 8. It's a 30-second timeout. Lourdes almost, at that point in time, they get the basket. However, the problem is this. They almost got called. If Chris Briggs hasn't called a timeout, Lourdes could have been called for a delay of game because Holyfield punched the ball back into the end zone where they called it really tight in the first game like that. They had one on each team on the delay of game warning. And 34-21.
All of a sudden, we're looking at a 13-point game.
Yep. Georgetown came out a little flat defensively. Chris Briggs sensed it, called timeout. Now, Lourdes got what they wanted positive. 3 possessions, 3 scores. They're chipping away at the lead.
And what's really important is that they're getting stops on the defensive end.
Well, and it's been Georgetown that has taken a couple of bad shots. CBH to Omer. Omer now to Brooks Harris. To Wells. They're back in this matchup zone. 14 to shoot. Omer. Down on the right block, he goes to Lamont. Corner to Dozier. Back down to Lamont. Working on Harris. He steps through and got it.
Beautiful footwork by Drew Lamont down low for the easy finish.
Well, that's where you go if you're having trouble scoring. Go down low and get an easy basket. Holyfield working on Wells. Backs it down, now to Snow. Swain shoots 3. Got it.
Knocking down the contested 3.
A 9-2 run to start the second half for Lourdes.
Well done by Swain, and he's now 3 of 4.
Omer drives and gets the layup. Omer in double figures. 38-24, and a blocking foul on Omer. In the first game, Omer would have been called for taking a charge. He had position, and the player ran over. That was a charge in the first game, not with this crew, which is okay as long as it stays that way for both teams. Both teams will know how to play it. That's the tough thing.
That one looked like a forearm tackle on the football field.
Yeah, Omer with his second, he becomes the second Tiger with 2. Drew Lamont's the other one. Tigers with 3 fouls in this half. Holyfield into Harris. Harris is going to work on Lamont. Spins, baseline. Oh, that is a tough call on Drew Lamont.
And Lamont with a little bit of a stare down.
Well, he stared at the official because Harris turned, he blocked it, and then Harris decided, okay, I'm going to fall, which every good scorer learns that technique, okay? I wasn't a scorer when I played, but I learned how to fall.
And let's see if
that's 3 on Lamont.
Let's see if Jackie Harris can get his first points of the game.
And he can't.
Way short on the free throw.
That one was all upper body. And what Jackie has to understand, he's a great shooter, but guess what? It's your legs. It's not your upper body. You got to keep your form, but you got to use your legs. Better looking that time from Harris, and he got it. His first points, folks, with 16:43 to play in the game. The lead is 13.
And he needed to see that one fall.
Yeah, you need anything positive for Jackie Harris. We'll get, hopefully, for Lourdes fans, we'll get him going. Wells, now to Dozier. To Brooks Harris in the corner. Got it.
Woo. Smooth and buttery from Cam Brooks Harris.
That one looked like it was going to be short.
Nothing but net from Cam.
But it's up to 16 now. Anderson down the lane. Cut off. Back out to Snow. Around to Harris. Kyron Jones has him right now. Deep three from Swain. No. Rebound tipped away from Wells by Snow, and it goes back to Georgetown.
And if anybody has the green light right now for Lourdes,
It's Swain.
it is Swain.
Yeah,
He's 3 of 5 from downtown.
He has hit all 3 3-point buckets for. We have a problem with the clock. It is not stopping. And I don't know if it's something to do with the wiring. It says 25-4 Lourdes right now, but it should be 41-25 Tigers, right? Now the shot clocks go out. I have no idea. Georgetown and Lourdes both held around their respective coaches. Lourdes, Dennis Hobson, Chris Briggs of Georgetown, both getting a free timeout here with the clock that had fouled up. It's 40-25. Tigers of Georgetown with the lead here at home in the Duer bracket. This is the Georgetown, they call it, it's not a pod. I can't remember what the NAIA calls it. I have no idea. Wales will bring it across, gives it off to CBH to Omer. Omer will hand behind him to Wales. Now Omer. Wales, high post to Kyron Jones. Omer in the lane. Floater from 15, good.
And he loves that floater.
12 for Omer. It's back up to 17. That is a tough shot to hit. A floater in general, but from 15 feet.
And the way he does it on the move, off balance.
Yeah. This is Holyfield. Gets around the screen and put it up too strong. Kyron Jones with the foul. That's 4 on Georgetown, the second on Jones. That's 5 on Georgetown to 1 for Lourdes. And this is what, if you're Lourdes, also to get back into it, get to the foul line. You can get points without the clock running. Free throw from Holyfield is good. He has 9 now. Coleman comes in, replacing Swain.
And if you're the Grey Wolves, you're relieved to be on this half of the court. You don't have to look behind the backboard and see a bunch of screaming fans waving their arms around.
The second, now they're going to go deathly quiet on it. The loudness wasn't working. They're going to go deathly quiet. And it worked. Rebound, though, is grabbed by Harris, but he's standing on the end line. It's amazing how crowd will be crazy at any venue, high school or college. And the guy will step up and drill a free throw. Then it goes deathly quiet, and he misses. It even happens to some of the best free throw shooters in the history of this game. 42-26, 5 minutes into the second half. CBH working on Anderson, has it knocked away, and he's standing on the end line. He had Anderson beat, then lost control of the dribble, and in trying to regain the basketball, he's standing on the end line. Holyfield brings it across the timeline. Wells has done a heck of a job on Holyfield tonight for Georgetown.
He sure has.
He has 9, 5 in this half. This is Anderson. Gets a screen from Snow. Right corner to Holyfield. Step back, 17-footer, good.
Drills it. Beautiful step back from Holyfield.
That was a 2. 42-28. Lourdes hanging around that 14-point deficit.
And Wells with a little bucket of his own.
And a timeout, Chris Briggs and the Tigers.
Jaquay Wells and his ability to dribble around the defenders leads to the easy basket at the rim.
Back to action, 14-11 to play in the ball game. Georgetown leading over Lourdes, 44-28. Lourdes came out with a 9-2 run to start the second half. Unfortunately for the Gray Wolves, Georgetown got their footing. Anderson to Snow on the left wing. He's going to work on Omer. And a foul on Jake.
And that's his third.
That's 3 on Jake Omer. He becomes the second Tiger with 3. But more importantly for Lourdes, that's 6 on Georgetown now. The Gray Wolves have only committed 1 here in the first 6 minutes, 5 seconds.
Coach
CBH
Briggs is going to leave him out there.
Brooks Harris thought he should have had that steal on that deflection. Snow down on the block. It goes to Harris. Harris backing down, put it up and in.
Went for the jump ball, got a hand on it, but a good move.
44-30. Again, back to 14. Lourdes wants to get it by the 10-minute mark, keep it around 10. They can't afford to let Georgetown run off a little bit more. Wales down the lane, cut off. Omer down the lane, floater or glass too strong. He gets his own. Hook pass, intercepted by Snow. Omer needs to shoot that from 8. Lourdes can get closer with this trip. And I'm sure Chris Briggs would say, Jake, you got to shoot that. That shot no good. Harris rebounds, blocked from behind by Brooks Harris.
Monster block by Cam.
Yeah, Harris never saw him. Jabrion Spikes will come in, replacing Omer.
Was that Harris on Harris crime?
Huh?
Was that Harris on Harris crime?
Yeah, it was Harris on Harris, yeah. 44-30, 20 seconds on the shot clock. And Bishop will replace Brooks Harris. They get it into Anderson. He'll work on Wells. In the lane, fall away from 7, good.
And that's a high-quality shot right there.
Harris has cut the lead to 12. Here's Dozier.
And he's shown his ability to run the point.
Dozier around, goes up. A lot of contact, no call. We're headed the other direction. Ahead to Holyfield, and it's 10.
And right now, Lourdes is building momentum.
Yep. I tell you what, though, Dozier looked for a foul. Harris was lucky he didn't get the third. I thought he really bodied up Harris, or bodied up Dozier. And the officials said, nope, not enough contact. So now you know if you take it to the lane, now the officials have said, okay, we're going to let you body up on both ends. We'll see what happens as we go for the final 12-24. 34, 44-34. Go
Like
ahead.
they're going to let the boys play.
Well, and I get it, but the first half, that was a foul on both ends. Now both teams have to adjust because now they're allowing it to happen on both ends. So you got to adjust and play. And that's both teams. I mean, they are really letting it go now on both ends. So you're going to have to adjust if you're Lourdes and Georgetown. 44-34, Georgetown now with a big possession here. Dozier to Spikes. Spikes penetrates, throws cross court to Jones to Wells. Traveling. And here's the thing. Lourdes now, LC, can attack the perimeter defensively because the three best shooters for Georgetown are on the bench over there. Lamont, Omer, both with 3 fouls, and CBH is over there for a rest.
Yeah, none of the guys on the floor right now for the Tigers are really looking to stretch the floor.
The only really three-point threat Georgetown has on the floor right now is Dozier. Backdoor cut to Anderson. And he gets the bucket. It's down to 8.
And the Tigers got to do better defensively.
Well, now Lourdes is getting what they want because they're patient. But Georgetown's also helping this comeback by Lourdes because they're gambling defensively. They're not playing good position defense. Out to Jones, now to Spikes.
Spikes for 3.
Way off. Dozier had it. Coleman took it away from him. And here comes Lourdes with a chance to get closer. Anderson lays it in. It's down to 6.
Anderson taking it right to the cup.
Well, I tell you what. Right now, they are just flat. Not only taking it to Georgetown on the offensive end, but Georgetown has become total stagnant on offense.
Yeah, this second half has been all Gray Wolves, and we've seen it possession after possession. You know, they're dominating on both ends of the floor, and that's why we're looking at a close game right now.
Through the first 8 minutes and 43 seconds of this one, of the second half, Lourdes has outscored Georgetown 23-10. It was a 19-point halftime lead. The Gray Wolves have just said, look, we're going to do what we had planned to do game plan-wise in that first half. The problem is, for Lourdes, how can they sustain this? Because it takes a lot of energy to come back from a pretty sizable deficit, which was 19 at the break.
And Georgetown has to understand, this is the national tournament. There are no slouches in this tournament.
No.
And even though you have a big lead, does not mean that they're going to roll over and let you get the victory.
And yes, Lourdes is the 14th seed in this bracket, or in this pod here. But they come in, I think, at 25-9. So they aren't any pushover. They're not going to quit. And they haven't. And we talked about a big possession a moment ago. This is even bigger for Georgetown. Omer's back in. Here he is, out high. Anderson cut him off. Omer now with snow on him. 15 to shoot. Down the lane goes Omer. No.
In and out. Not a bad shot from Jake.
And here comes Lourdes. They can get even closer with a basket here. Spikes. They missed Harris on the roll.
And he was wide open down low.
Yep, this is Anderson. Anderson down the lane. No. Spikes rebounds. Right wing Dozier. Here he goes. Hangs. And a foul. On Snow or Anderson? Who they got with the reach? Anderson. First on Anderson. And it is Little Anderson. That's his name.
There you go.
Timeout on the floor. We'll be back with free throws for Georgetown. It's gotten tighter. 44-38 Tigers with 10.5 to go.
And we're back in Alumni Gym, 44-38. The Ray Wolves have come storming back.
Thank you, LC, for taking over there for a moment. I'm actually about ready to lose my voice. This is my 7th free throw or 7th game in this week. Now, it's not as many as we had before. I actually had 13 games in 1 week.
That's a lot of games.
It was 4 college games and 9 high school games. They have Rashad Bishop. That's not actually, I don't think that's a shooter either. I think the shooter was actually Tate Ozier. Am I right?
Yeah, and they tried to put somebody else at the line. The Gray Wolves were all over that.
Bishop misses the first.
And probably out of everybody on the floor right now, you want Bishop at the line.
Yep.
You're the Gray Wolves.
He's only a 57% foul shooter. He hits the second. He has 4. It's back to 7. 10:25 to play in the game. Georgetown and Lourdes. The winner to meet Indiana Wesleyan tomorrow night. Snow working on spikes. Spins. Blocked by Harris.
Cam off the glass for the block.
Omer, the floater, got it. I don't think there's anybody in the country better at transition from defense to offense than Georgetown. And I've seen a lot of teams in my years of covering the NAIA.
They love to score in transition.
Anderson, charge.
Great defensive play by Spikes to be in position for the charge. Spikes is playing some great minutes for the Tigers right now.
He is, and that's when Spikes is more noted for his defense than his offense, and you see why right there. The foul on Anderson's his second. That's the 3rd on Lourdes in this half.
And the Tiger student section getting back into things.
Big trip for both teams, even with 9:40 to play. Omer, a look at 3. No. Jammed back in by Bishop.
Rashad Bishop takes flight in the putback jam.
I told you to the fans out there watching him at Georgetown for the first time, the guy has springs. Here's Harris, good.
Cleared for takeoff.
That's only the 2nd field goal for Harris. Bishop now with 6. Oh, my. I'm telling you, the young man, I have seen some great leapers in my time in the Kentucky high school ranks. I was fortunate to watch Rashad Bishop play in high school. I think he's taking it to another level as far as leaping ability.
Well, it's gotten to the point where when he takes flight, the defenders get out of the way. They do not want to be put on a poster. They make business decisions. They've seen him do it time and time again.
They're saying it's a 30-second timeout. It should be the final 30-second timeout for Lourdes. You're allowed 4 per game. So we'll see. That was a miscommunication with officials and the teams.
Still plenty of time left in this ball game. 9 minutes, 18 seconds to go. 9-point game.
Georgetown, Lourdes looking for the right to play Indiana Wesleyan tomorrow night right here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. Pressure coming from Lourdes. Looks like it's man-to-man right now. Nope, they're going to back it off. Interesting. Just showing, I guess, Coach Hobson doesn't want to give up an easy basket. Omer around Anderson. Anderson got a piece of it. Brooks Harris. The clock should not have reset.
And a great save by Kyron Jones.
Yeah.
Saved the possession for the Tigers.
10 on the shot clock. It never got to the rim. It was partially blocked by Anderson. Spikes will inbound. He's back there in that humanity. Easy to find with the white uniform. Snow knocks it away, and here come the Gray Wolves. Anderson, charging foul.
You know, he went for the Euro. I think
He went
picked
for
up
the
his
Euro.
knee right in his
Well, he
lower
got.
neck.
I know he got the elbow in the chin. That's the third now on Anderson. Coach Hobson doesn't agree, but that was a call. They're lucky, to be honest with you, that it's not called a flagrant one
Because it very well could
because
have.
it was above the shoulders. It wasn't intentional, but it's still above the shoulders, and that is what they're trying to clean up in college basketball. Unintentional, totally by Anderson, but it's his third. 8:42 to play. Now to Jones. They're looking for Bishop on Harris. He put it on the floor, dribbled it off a player's foot. Holyfield down the lane, over Jones, got it.
And Holyfield is taking control for the Gray Wolves, leading this charge.
He's got 12 in the second half, 16 for the game. It's back down to 7 as we head towards the 8-minute mark. Spikes into the lane, backs into Swain, put it up and in.
Jabrion Spikes backing down his defender.
That was a big boy move, but I'm not so sure they wanted to charge. Holyfield misses the shot.
Nearly an and one. Holyfield continues to pound it.
That's 3 on Jones. He's the third Tiger with 3. Holyfield at the line where he is 3 of 4 from the foul line tonight. First one is good. He has 14, 10 here in the second half. He averages 17 a game. Second one on its way. Short. Rebounded by Brooks Harris. That's a big free throw miss by a really good foul shooter. Bishop backing down Snow, and it's going to be a foul on the floor on Snow. He and Bishop were going at it, and Snow fouled him on the catch. Luckily, because that could have very easily been an and one, but he caught him on the catch. Georgetown has put Lourdes in the bonus. The next, well, they only have 4 fouls on Lourdes. I think there's more than that, isn't there? Wells will inbound. Fakes the lob. Coleman steals it.
Another
Bad
steal on
pass
the
from Wells.
inbounds.
But now a turnover the other way. Harris has it, tips it over to Omer. Down low to Bishop for the two-hand flush.
Rashad Bishop attacking the rim.
Loose ball. Georgetown got it. Here's the problem. Georgetown had 3 players on the floor. Lourdes had nobody. That is what helps. You come up with loose balls. Lourdes got to get somebody to get on the floor. It's back to 10. Holyfield. Back to Harris. Wide open look at a 3. No. Rebounded by Lamont. That's the first clean look at a 3 Harris has had. And he just couldn't hit it. To Brooks Harris. Missed the layup. But a foul on Harris. That's 3 on Brooks Harris. First shot from Brooks Harris is no good. And Georgetown leaving the door open for Lourdes.
And somebody on this Tigers team has to step up and continue to score.
Brooks Harris with 6. Make it 7. It's back up to an 11-point lead, 54-43, Georgetown. Near side to Swain. Swain down the lane, pulls up, got it. Wrong-footed.
The sweet floater from Swain.
That was a wrong foot shot by Swain, and he got it to go. Back to 9. 54-45 Tigers. They have been outscored 30-19 in this half. 30-20. Wells for 3, no good. Bishop trying to fight 3 Gray Wolves. Nobody else on the glass with him. Coleman for 3, good. It's down to 6.
And somebody's got to get the ball.
Here's Wales. 6:15 to play. 54-48 Tigers. Wells down the lane, drops it to Lamont. Stays with the Tigers. Now, if that's Rashad Bishop, they're throwing a lob. But with Lamont, that was a bounce pass. Didn't have a lot of steam on it, though. Left corner, they give it back to Brooks Harris. Loses control and a foul on Coleman. Kind of a touchy foul. They're going to call it the forearm, but I don't know about that one. Break for the Tigers.
That's now 2 fouls that Cam is drawing in the last minute.
That's
getting
3.
himself to the line.
That's 3 on Coleman. Brooks Harris misses the free throw. And Georgetown continues to struggle at the line. Holyfield to Snow. To Swain. Now to Snow. To Swain. Right wing to Coleman. They go to Holyfield. Working on Wells. Spins. Double teamed. Goes back in there. Spins. Hangs. Left it short. Brooks Harris. Now they give it off to, oh my.
Oh my goodness. Rashad Bishop once again.
Woo!
With the hammer. Attacking the rim ferociously.
That one was thrown over the head from Wells to Bishop. It was not a perfect pass. Bishop grabbed it from behind and threw it down. Holy cow.
I can't believe what I just witnessed.
I can't either. And Lourdes had a chance to get it lower, and Holyfield missed about a 5-footer. And that could prove to be big. Timeout, Lourdes.
I mean, Bishop brought that back from way behind his head to throw that one down.
That was not a perfect pass by any stretch of the imagination. And Lourdes was slow getting back. And again, if you're the Gray Wolves, you've had a great comeback here. You've got to get, if you miss a shot, you can't, if you don't go to the glass and get an offensive rebound, you got to get back. Because if you don't get back, Georgetown's going to push it. And that's what's going to happen, is you're going to be seen on television later with a highlight reel. Lourdes has done a marvelous job here in the second half of digging and themselves out of that 19-point hole to be in the position they're in right now. But they have to continue to do what they're doing offensively, but they've got to get back on defense.
That alley-oop is very reminiscent of the famous lob from Dwayne Wade to LeBron James. I mean, just the way that Jake Omer executed that throw.
That might have been better, to be honest with you. Unbelievable. We have a whistle and a stoppage of play. And I think, they're talking about shirt tails.
How about that for some national tournament basketball?
Holyfield circles. He'll set the offense with 15 to shoot. Around the right side on Wales. Backing Wales down. Pulls up from 8, in and out. Rebounded by Bishop. Going to that more isolation again are Lourdes, and they're trying to isolate Holyfield on Wales. Wells gets a screen from Lamont. Lamont, three, left wing. No. Bishop had it, goes and gets it, and a foul on Lourdes. I don't know who it's on. Is it on Snow or is it on Swain? It's on Swain.
And right now, Rashad Bishop is everywhere.
That's the first on Swain, and it'll put Rashad Bishop at the line for 1+1 when we come back. This is the 85th Annual National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics Men's Basketball Tournament.
Well, Rashad Bishop brought out the imaginary ladder, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness! I'm telling you, I have seen some incredible dunks in my 39 years of covering athletics at both a high school and collegiate level. I don't think I've ever seen a couple of highlight reel dunks.
This Georgetown team is just so fun to watch. When they're firing on all cylinders.
When they are firing, yeah, this is why they have been to the national tournament. This is their 43rd appearance. Bishop with 11 now. The second one, back rim, no. Omer went low, and it's a three-possession game. 57-48, 4.5 to play. Lourdes still with a chance, but they've got to continue to execute and get points. This is Coleman, drives baseline, cut off. Out straight away to Snow. Tried to go down low, and it's knocked out of bounds by Brooks Harris. 10 to shoot on the shot clock.
And the frustration is building for the Gray Wolves.
Well, not just, I don't think it's frustration, more as now needing points almost every time down. But they got to also stop defensively. Holyfield rises from 15 and hits.
Holyfield right now doing everything he can to keep his team in this game.
Holyfield's basically carried the Gray Wolves here in the second half.
Yeah.
It's down to 7. 4 to play. 57-50. Georgetown. Omer fakes. 15-footer. Left it short, though rebounded by Coleman. Kind of short-armed that one, did Omer. Anderson down the lane. Cut off. In the lane. In the corner to Holyfield. Coleman drives, cut off by Wells. In the lane to Harris, 15-footer straight away, no. Brooks Harris had it. Now he saves it back in. That's not a good play by Brooks Harris. Anderson for 3. Yes. It's down to 4.
And just like that, it's a two-possession game.
For young folks, you never, ever, ever save the ball underneath your own basket like that. You throw it to the other end, or you turn and make sure you got a white shirt right there to get it to. Here goes Wells down the lane, has it stripped. And it goes to Lourdes, and it's a turnover for Georgetown. Tigers are really struggling right now offensively, but Lourdes has kind of turned up the defensive pressure, and now they got a chance to get within a bucket. This is the closest they've been in a long, long time.
And a lot of that is due to Joey Holyfield taking
Clock's
this game
not
at his
moving.
own pace.
Clock is not moving. We're at 3:02. The clock is not moving. Now it starts, and a moving screen on Holyfield.
And
The clock should have been running. There's only 5 seconds. It should have been about 10 seconds off the clock.
And what a relief for the Tigers, because that would have been a three-point play, and it would have been even closer.
Offensive foul on Holyfield. So Georgetown will inbound right in front of the Lourdes bench. Omer across the timeline. Now to Lamont. Brooks Harris comes out 3 straight away. Yes.
That man Cam knocks it down from three-point range.
10 for CBH, as he's known. Anderson in the lane, got it. And Coleman almost fiddled with the rim as that ball was up in there. That could have been offensive interference. Nice move by Anderson. Anderson and Holyfield. $11 in this half for Anderson to go along with the 12 for Holyfield. 2. They have scored 23 of the 40 second half points that Lourdes has put on the board. It is 60-55 Georgetown. It has been a lead as big as 17. I'm sorry, as big as 19. It was 19 at the half. 34-15 was the score at halftime. Lourdes has outscored Georgetown in the first 17 minutes and 27 seconds of this half, 40-26.
Tigers up 5. Let's see if they can
Now,
contain that lead.
if you're Lourdes, you hope you have enough juice in the tank to go over this next 2.5 minutes and close the deal and finish the comeback. Lamont. As Snow took a swipe at him. They lob to Bishop. Harris, I think, got away with a little hip action there to Bishop. Anderson in the corner to Coleman. Harris for 3. No. Lamont had to rebound, a foul on Snow. Georgetown dodged a big bullet.
Drew Lamont slow to get up.
Yeah, he somehow missed the corner of that bleacher down there at the far end. I don't know how his head missed that corner, but it did.
I'm glad it did.
Foul on Snow was his 3rd. He becomes the 4th Gray Wolf with 3 fouls. Georgetown has 3 players. Omer, Jones, and Lamont all with 3. So 7 players with at least 3 fouls. Lamont for 2. He misses the first.
And maybe it's just this end. I don't know what's going on, but the free throws have
Well,
not been easy.
Georgetown has shot better from the foul line in the second half, but they are leaving points at the line. Lamont hits the second. He's a good free throw shooter. He has 8. It's 6. It's a 2-possession game as we head to 2 minutes. Holyfield to the lane, had it stripped. And it stays with Lourdes. Boy, I tell you, CBH somehow got his hand in there as Holyfield came wide open.
He is locked in defensively. He's got a few blocks, a few strips, poking balls away.
Well, Holyfield, I thought was going to shoot a floater, but he tried to take it all the way to the rim, got stripped. Anderson in the lane, back out to Snow. Anderson with Omer on him. Floater goes.
Tough layup by Anderson.
It's down to 4.
The Gray Wolves are not going anywhere.
Omer
Nearly took it away.
gets it to Wells across the timeline. Lamont in the corner. Brooks Harris short. Tipped in by Bishop. He's got 13, 10 in the second half. It's a 2-possession game. Holyfield misses the layup. Blocked by Lamont, but a foul on Lamont with 1:12 to play.
And how easy was that putback for Rashad Bishop?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Lamont with his 4th now. He becomes the first player with 4. It's a 2-shot foul. And Holyfield will go to the line for 2. He's got 16, 14, 12 of them here in the second half. He and Anderson have been the offense. He misses the first. He is 4 of 7 from the foul line. This is, folks, from a near 80% foul shooter. We have Sweat on the floor. We're going to get it up. 63-57 Tigers. A minute 12 to play. The winner gets Indiana Wesleyan tomorrow. 7 o'clock right here at Davis Reed Alumni Gym. A trip to the Final 16 in Kansas City. Holyfield looked like he almost kind of wheeled that one in. He didn't feel comfortable when he released it, which is unusual for a guy that scores like he does. Down to 5. Homer to Wells. Now to Lamont. To Brooks Harris, who thought about shooting it, but backs out. We're down to 15 on the shot clock. A minute left. Brooks Harris, cross court to Homer. Wide open look. No, way off.
It's a high percentage look for Jake Homer.
Yeah, but you got to go to the rim if you're Georgetown. Anderson, cut off by Brooks Harris. Out to Coleman. Snow, down low to Holyfield. Coleman for a 3. In and out. Bishop had it. Snow saves it to Anderson. To Holyfield. Blocked by Brooks Harris.
Brooks Harris is putting on a clinic defensively.
Anderson is fouls Wells.
And Cam lets out an emphatic scream, and he deserves it.
That is 4 on Anderson. But Jaquay Wells will have 1 and the bonus with 22.7 to play. He needs both to give Georgetown a little breathing room. 1, it'll be still a 2-possession game. Wells at the line for double bonus. Free throw is good. Timeout, Lourdes.
And what an incredible job by Cam Brooks Harris in the second half defensively.
Defensively, he has been the big man defensively for Georgetown. Holyfield and Anderson have been the 2 guys offensively for the Gray Wolves. And what a tremendous effort here in the second half for Lourdes. They were dead in the water in the first half and really struggling offensively. Only had 15 first half points. They have scored 43 here in the second half. They've outscored the Tigers in the second half 43-30.
Just 22.7 remaining. This game's not over just yet.
Not yet. Lourdes still has some life. However, they cannot come down and come up with an empty possession. They've got to get a basket.
The biggest possession
and they
for
need
their
a 3
squad all year.
Yeah, they need a 3 right here. Because if Wells hits it, it's a 3-possession game. They can get it too quickly, but I don't know how many timeouts they've got left.
And this free throw could very well ice it.
It could, but Georgetown has to be smart, too, on their side. Lourdes has to be the same way. Wells in and out. And a foul on Spikes.
And that is not what the Tigers need.
No. That's 9 on Georgetown, but it'll be 1+1 for Coleman. Coleman
into the game comes Jake Omer for Jabrion Spikes.
Yeah, that's one of those fouls that will get you quickly to the bench next to your head coach. Or if you're Spikes, you go to the far end of the bench and hope he forgets about you. Coleman's free throw. Back rim, no. Bishop had the rebound, but tips it in the hands of Brooks Harris. Gives it back to Omer, and a foul on Swain. Still not out of the woods. It's a two-possession game, but you got your best free throw shooter percentage-wise for Georgetown going to the line for the double bonus. Still not over. Student body for Georgetown thinking it is, it's not. Hit the 2 free throws. Now you can start celebrating a little bit. Omer hits the first. He has 15. But don't celebrate a little too soon because you got the 3-point shot. The clock stops after a made basket inside the final minute, whether you got a timeout or not. If Omer goes 0 for 2 from the line, you come down here to 3, you still got a shot if you're Lourdes. But he hits both. 16 for Jake Omer. Snow to Anderson, lets 3 go, right wing. Back heel, no. Bishop with a rebound and a foul on Swain. It wasn't easy nor pretty for Georgetown, but they will advance to tomorrow night's pod game for the right to go to Kansas City. And you think this place is historic? Just as historic is Municipal Auditorium in downtown Kansas City, Missouri.
And this Georgetown College team has all.
They have the ability to get there.
They do.
And win it all. However, they can't have a second half, or they can't have a game like they had this second half. Bishop misses the second. Holyfield, back to Harris, deep 3. Back rim, no. Bishop had the rebound, and it hits the inline and goes out of bounds. He pointed the wrong way. He pointed the wrong way.
And you have to give a round of applause to the Gray Wolves in their second half. Able to bring them back within striking distance and make this a enjoyable to watch close game.
They had 2 possessions with a chance to tie. One of those 2, they got a great look from Harris, and he had an off night shooting the ball tonight, and it just didn't fall for him. So now you look at this matchup tomorrow night. You saw the second half of the Indiana Wesleyan Mid-American Nazarene game. Very difficult matchup for Georgetown. This team tonight had 3 really good scorers. One had an off night, the other 2 tried to keep them in it. The problem is, tomorrow night for Georgetown, you are going to have to stay locked in for 40 minutes with it, Indiana Wesleyan.
And there's no time to let up.
No, and the Wildcats are a very well-coached, very well put-together team as far as fundamentals are concerned. They are very good. Tomorrow night's game should be a classic. Georgetown, Indiana Wesleyan for the right to go to Kansas City in the Sweet 16 or the Final 16, whatever you want to say it.
We'll see you tomorrow. This has been L.C. Newton.
And I'm Darren Douglas. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon, 7 o'clock, Georgetown, Indiana Wesleyan on the NAIA Basketball Championship.